take off.
Okay, this is Project Copart. My Project Cavalier has got the sport appearance package on it. So this is New Paris, Ohio, Pierce Auto Parts. Actually, it used to be National Auto Parts, and I worked here back in the 70s and 80s. Gave them a call, and I have searched and searched and searched, and I now have a sport package, front bumper cover with fog lights, exactly what I needed. It does have a crack in it. We'll deal with that later. Yellow, beggars can't be choosers. I'm just going to have to do a little work on it. I've gotten prices anywhere from an OEM replacement for $415 with shipping. That's out of the question. $300 for a used one. $285 for a used white one on eBay with shipping. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was about $285. This guy just cut me a deal, $50. So, made my day. Alright, well, we'll update later. Hi, YouTubers. This is Dave. Working on my Copart Chevy Cavalier. Picked up a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, been kind of under the weather. So, anyway, I found this front bumper cover, and it's got a split from the back of the skid portion all the way up to the very front and beyond. So anyway, I stuck the piece of paper in between there so you could kind of get an idea of what I got going on. Today, this came in the mail for me. Plastic soldering kit, welding kit, whatever you want to call it. Looks like a oversized soldering iron, which is pretty much what it is. Comes with a stainless steel mesh, brush, stand, welding rods, and the welder, of course, and an instruction manual. As it says, you know, you got to be careful. It does get pretty hot on 525 degrees. It's an 80-watt gun or welder. Anyway, I kind of fooled around with that area a little bit before I ordered this, and found that I didn't want to use something from the parts store that was supposed to be able to repair this. And you know, 20 bucks eBay. There's several places that sell them for about that price. I'm going to try it out. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody here to hold the camera for me while I'm doing this, but I've already taken my sander and scuffed this up a little bit. So anyway, I'm going to give it a shot, cut a piece of this, bridge the gap with the stainless, and you know, see what happens with it, and I'll update this later. Also got in the mail today my blend door actuator that was clicking, so I'll be putting that in too since the weather gets a little better. Alright, well, I'll update this later. Okay, got a piece of mesh. I didn't want to cut a piece the whole length of the crack yet. I just wanted to get that tied together, so it'd be a little easier to deal with. So far, all the indications look like this is going to be a good repair. As with anything, when you're dealing with heat, especially with that, when you're setting that mesh, because it does actually melt right into the material there. You want to work a small space and back off of it a little bit, or else the whole thing will heat up and it just won't bond quite well. So anyway, you know, tagged a few corners here and there, and well, melted the mesh in first and then held the two pieces together and hit the corners and stuff like that. So right now it looks like it's going to work. I'm going to cut another piece of mesh to go from here on up to, there's a little high spot right here. So I may not have to mesh that, or I might run it across, kind of bridge it that way. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to cut another piece here and just kind of work it like you would, excuse me, well ventilated area. It's got kind of got the fumes got a little bit of a kick to it. So anyway, I'm going to cut a piece of mesh to go from here. Probably bond this in first, come back down here, bond this end, hit the middle after it cools. But heat and cool is what I've noticed so far. Welding rods themselves melt pretty quick. Sorry guys, I got a big lung full of the fumes off this. So anyway, right now it's looking like it's going to be a good fix, and I'll update it again. Again, I apologize for not being able to tape this whole process, but I think you guys, you know, anybody doing stuff like this is going to get the idea. All right, update here in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to try this one-handed and see what happens. Got another piece of mesh cut, obviously. I'm going to start up here. Just set your tip down on the stainless, kind of work it around. It's going to draw that right up into the mesh. Cools off. You've bridged it. And the beginning of your repair. So let's move down here towards where I did the first one. Did a little bit of that. That nice. That's pretty cool. The welding tip. Looks like you don't want to put too much pressure on that because it's bending. Well, $20, you get what you pay for, right? Okay. As you see, puts off a fair amount of smoke. Sorry about that. That's why it's kind of hard to record and do this with one hand. Okay. So again, it's kind of like spot welding. Best thing to do is hit a couple places. Let it cool. Go up here and hit another place. It's really crazy about that tip. So bending really easy. I'm sure they sell replacements. Again, doing this in your garage, make sure you got ventilation. Let's hit this. I may be pushing harder than I need to, I don't know. Kind of keep it moving. Anyway, I'm going to set this camera down and try to get a little further along. But I think you guys got the idea. Seems to be working pretty well. Okay, guys. Looks like from all indications so far, without doing the other side, we've got pretty strong repair there. I think what I'll do is probably sand this, and especially in that big spot, maybe spot weld that. Sorry about that. Once again, trying to record and say what I'm going to do. Looks, so far so good. Other than when the tip gets hot, it wants to bend over. So evidently it gets too hot for that. You put pressure on it, it just kind of bends over. So not real happy about that, but so far I'm happy with the results of the repair itself. All right, well, I'm gonna get this sanded and do a few places. I do know you can sand that and put some body filler in these cracks, stuff like that, and then prime it, and it's gonna be underneath the car. It's not super critical, but I just wanted to make it more solid than, obviously not just flopping around, because there are no other fasteners along from that one. There are 3 from the corner over to there, and then you have no more until you get to the other side. So anyway, appearance wise, that should make it look better instead of just hanging there. All right, well, I'm going to do some more work and get back with you guys. Okay, guys, my $20 welding iron, plastic welding iron. How I told you the little iron tip kept bending over. Well, after 2 uses, it just broke. So the stem of it is still down inside the soldering iron or welding iron, I should say, supposedly. So I think I'll send them a message. I was able to do this side of the
Take off.